Hi, this is M. Harita, second year CSC B section, Adi Shankara Institution of Technology. Register number is 578. The design analysis algorithm. Asymptotic notation. This table represents big O notations. Overview of asymptotic technologies and notations. In these definitions, as denotes a set of relation or complex numbers contained in a domains of the functions f and g, and so denotes affinity or real or complex numbers are notations. A very complicated set of notations in asymptotic analysis are the so called big O notations and small O notations and their valence. These notations are in rapid use and are often used without further explanation. However, in Kata to properly apply these notations and avoid mistakes results from careless use, it is important to be aware of their precise definitions. In this section are we given formal definitions of the big O notations and their valence, show how to work with their notations and illustrate their use with a number of examples tables 2 and 2. Go an overview of these notations. This table represents shorthand forms, full forms. Definitions of big O notations. Specific case. We consider first are the simplest and most common case execute in asymptotics, namely the behavior for functions of a real variables x as x finity. Give to such functions fx and give gx defined for all sufficient large real numbers x. We write we shorthand for the following statement: there exists constant x naught and c such set. If the wholes, we say that fx is one of order g ox. We can the above estimates O estimates constant and the range x greater than x naught, the range of validity to the of the O estimates. In exactly the same way, we define the relation fn is equal to gon if f and g are functions of an integers variables n. Notates that the constant c is not unique if the above inequivalent holds with a particular value c1, then obviously it always holds with an constant c satisfies c1 greater than c. Similar, the constant x naught implement in the range of an O estimates may be replaced by the constant x naught satisfy x1 greater than x naught. The value of the O constant c is usually not important. All that matters is that such a constant exists in plant. In many situations, it would be quite renders to write out of expense value of our c, even if we are not interested in getting to the best possible value. The beauty of the O notations is that it allows us to express in a sufficient and suggest matter the existence of such a constant without having to write down the constant to one. By the definition of an O estimate, we need to show that they exist constant c and x naught such as x greater than x infinity for the or x greater than x naught is the equivalent to show that the equivalent functions qx and x by bondings are on the interval non-negative and constituents of the interval equal to at x is equal to 0 and functions is bonding O, and so the O estimates holds with x naught is equal to 0 and any value of e that is an upper bound of our O give x on O affinity. In the simple example, it is easy to determine an explicit and total best possible value for the O constancy. In either the above agreement shows that the best possible constants in C maximum Q will Qx is equal to x and maximum Qx is the easily determined by method of calculation. The derivations Qx and equals Qr is equal to, which has unique zeros and x is equal to, thus Qx determines the maximum values x is equal to 0 and so x is equal to q is equal to even is the best possible constant for the range. Dependence on parameter. In many cases, the functions involving I and in and O estimates depends on one or more parameters. It may then the important to knowledge whether the O constant dependence on these parameters or can be choose independently on the parameters. If the constant depends on one or more parameters, it is consumerly to indicate the dependence by the placing the parameters or substitutes the O symbols are written. For example, O and O are the same convention applications if the constant depends on the parameters brings in the range of estimates. To avoid mistake, it is good particular to estimates indicates the dependence of O estimates on an parameters by using the substance notations, and we will generally whether to the participants if the possible to choose the constant is an we estimate independence of some parameters, assuming in the definitions of the functions or the range of the estimates. We say that the estimates is a uniform or holds uniform with respect to the given parameters. Uniform estimates are the more information and the more useful than the manufacturing estimates, and available uniform estimates are the making non-uniform estimates uniform. Thank you.